excuse the room. Matter of fact, yeah, I did drop that down there, didn't I? Yeah, I'm not chasing after that, so. Hold on 1 second. Alright. Let that turn on. Alright, and now we should have a decent hearing. Right? So what I'm about to do is I'm going to bind this book, right? And then I'm going to we're going to discuss this information that's on the book, right? So let me center this for you. So I keep running into a perspective held by Moors calling themselves Moorish Americans, acting as Moroccans, or as Moroccans calling themselves Moorish Americans. And I see that there's a confusion here, right? That has confused even myself a little here. Not to mislead me, but to just recognize that people don't have their concepts right and exact. Peace and love to you. As a matter of fact, come on, camera. Let me put my eyeballs on. Ugh. There we go. Who's that? Alfred Dixon, peace and love to you, family. Appreciate the love that you send into the page. All right, but I'm going to show you all, to some degree, briefly, how I put my books together. So let me drop this a little bit and place that up so they can see me. All right. So we have an old-fashioned binder here, book binder here, and spines, right? And clear cover, right? Back. And the first page is from here on out is going to be on stock paper, and then everything else will be on regular paper, right? First thing, let me get my chair, and then hopefully, let's see. Yeah. Y'all will be able to see. But in the meantime, we're gonna, once this is all done, I'm gonna use this book here, and we're gonna see exactly what Noble Drew Ali says about uh, his particular group of Moors, and whether or not they are under the Moroccan Sultanate, as far as connecting themselves back with Africa, or we'll see if he has a different stance. I'm saying it this way because I don't wish to just spoil it. I don't want no spoiler alerts here. All right, we're gonna put the book on the right side, and that way when we press it, we can turn it over and it goes to the left side, right? And we keep record of it. It's that simple. It's really that simple what I just did. You know what I'm saying? And boom. Again. Y'all see that? I hope y'all see that. Right? It's not hard. This is what you're paying for whenever you go to the website and you desire this information. You're not paying for the information because the information itself is free. You're paying for the service that I am rendering and binding this information for yourself to have. Just for you all who may not, particularly recognize or understand why an individual may charge what they charge. I'm letting you all know that, I'm providing a service. I am a servant, and a servant is worthy of their hire. I let everybody know that this particular information that I provide, you can find it on your own. You can actually find it on our website and download it for yourself, free of charge. We're not gatekeeping information whatsoever. Again, the payment is for the service that is rendered. It takes finance to run a business. A nation is a business. A state is a business. And I'm running my business, as righteous as possible. All orders go out Saturday. So if you were to order something like right now, it would not go out until Saturday. That gives me time to process whatever products, are going out. It just gives me time, Fredo, you showing big love. I appreciate you, That's what's up, family. Absolutely. Y'all see my get up, This is my room. This is my everything. This is my lab. It's a little shabby, but it makes do. I live within my means. Teach my children to do so. Yeah, we're going to talk about Drew Ali and his Moors. What does he have to say regarding his Moors? All right. Now that we've got all the holes punched, we align. All right. You can see, we can see through all of the holes. And so then we take, forgot to do that, but we'll do that. We take the spine. We get everything through. Up. All right, make sure everything is throughout the front and the back. Not hard at all. We want all of that to come through. So let's get all of that through. There we go. There we go. Okay. And these actually click together to maintain their order. All right. And again, I don't mind sharing how to do this because, to be honest with you, fuck around, gonna need some more people to assist anyway, Just to show you all. Let's see here. If we could bend the neck down some. Not really. So there's extra here. These extra two prongs, 1, 2, 1 and 2. So I'm going to, what I should have done, I should have nipped it in the beginning. But I'm gonna nip it now. All right, and so now we can have full functionality. There we go. My children will be doing this as well. The more people desire to get into this information, and as well, the more information we begin to provide, the more the need for my children to assist will come about. And so, boom, right here we have a fully bound, right, book, right. The newest edition being to the book, being this here, because the people need to see that anyway. Right? All right. So, that being done, place this back in its spot. Uh, there we go. And now we can turn our attention back to the board. And we can actually turn that off. All right. Alrighty. One last thing. I do remember taking it off. And so it should be near. There you are. All right. So we're going to boot up, so to speak. All right. We're ready to go. The information in this publishing is everything that I personally could find that is attributed to Noble Drew Ali and the economic security program as he presents it to the American people. I say it that way because Drew Ali let us know that the program's principles were universal. So these were not something that he just came up with. This is something that he studied, he found, and when he figured it all out, he brought it to his people because his people were not privy to how actual self-governance and state governance actually operates. All right. So the question, are Moorish Americans under the Sultanate? Do we seek protection from Africa? Or are we under the more perfect union of the United States of America? Right? And we're going to take this from, we're going to go into the newspaper articles that Noble Drew Ali left for us as a part of his movement. All right. Right. Let's just start with this, right? This is called Prophet Drew Ali Speaks to the Nations. So let's see what Drew Ali has to say to all of the nations in America. He says, if you have race pride and you love your race, join the Moorish Science Temple of America and become a part of this divine movement. Then you will have power to redeem your race because you will know who you are and who your forefathers were. Because where there is unity, there is strength. Together we stand, divided we fall. So just mind you that whole statement right there echoed way back to the 1900s, by the way. He says, come, good people, because I, the prophet, sent to redeem this nation from mental slavery which you have now, need every one of you who think that your conditions can be better. This is a field open to strong men and women to uplift the nation and take your place in the affairs of men. Now, mind you, Drew Ali is not just speaking to the Moorish Americans at this time. Okay, he says that this is a message for the nations. So he's rallying everybody in unity, right? He says, if the Europeans and other nations are helping me, why not you? It is your problem. So now he's speaking specifically to his people, his Moors. He says the Negro problem is being solved only as it can. All right, so the 14th Amendment citizenship issue that Moorish Americans were going through at the time is being solved through this movement, not through any foreign movement, right? He says, if you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by this nation as an American citizen. So Drew Ali calls his people American citizens. He doesn't call them Moorish subjects, Moroccan subjects. He doesn't align us with North Africa as far as it being our birthplace. He only identifies North Africa as it being our national political standing, meaning that we stem from, but this is our legal status. Your citizenship deals with your domicile. Your legal status is relation to your rank in society. So we're American Moors. We're not African Moors. Drew Ali says, this is what is meant when it is said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things would be added unto you. So Drew Ali tells us that to become an American citizen is the fulfillment of the biblical expression of seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all of his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. That's the first statement. Do we find Drew Ali saying that we're under the Sultanate or under the Union? Here, we see that he's aligning us with the Union. Okay, so let's go to another one. Okay, here goes one. Prophet makes a plea to nation. Our divine and national movement stands for the specific grand principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I, the prophet, am applying to all loyal, faithful Moors, members, and the American citizens to help me in my great uplifting acts of uplifting fallen humanity among the Asiatic race and nation. For I have suffered much and severely in the past through misunderstanding of what this movement was dedicated to. This is the type of shit he was talking about. You got Moors misunderstanding that we're supposed to be with the Union. They want to take your ass back to Africa. But let me continue. It is the great God of law alone that guides the destiny of this divine and national movement. Listen to what he says here, man. all I know, he says that I know, all true American citizens, all true American citizens are identified by national descent. National descent names to answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national government. Excuse me, I misread that. And it's important that I read it word for word verbatim. He says, I know all true American citizens are identified by national descent names to answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. So again, is he talking about the Sultanate? Absolutely not. He's talking about the Constitution of the American Union. Okay? All right. He says, that is why I am calling on all, not just the Moorish Americans, by the way, on all true national citizens. So he's calling people national citizens. National citizens. All right? State citizens is what he's saying. All right. And I am calling on all true national citizens to help me morally and financially in my great work I am doing to help this national government, he's helping this national government, according to himself. He says, for without a free national name, without a descent flag of your forefathers, there is not a national divine title of the government in which we live. All right? He says, this is from you, true and divine prophet, unto all American and foreign sympathizers. So again, is Drew Ali linking us to the Sultanate? If we're linked to the Sultanate, we're under all of these treaties, that the Treaty of Madrid, the Treaty of Tripoli, right? The Treaty of Morocco, right? If we're under the Sultanate, then that's Drew Ali he's linking us to these treaties. But he's not speaking of that. He's speaking of this more perfect union. All right? Okay, let's go in some more, right? Right, he running down how the money go here. Yeah. That's another time. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to break that down. Let's see here. Right, and we should all be familiar, at least those of the Moorish paradigm, with a divine plea by the nation, by the prophet, a divine warning by the prophet for the nations, right? I've read this many a times. And I'm going to read it again, because why not, right? It's Sunday, right? And so now we're going to see, this is one of the larger editorials of the newspapers that Noble Drew Ali has left for us to review, right, and receive instruction. So now we're going to go over this again, and we're going to determine whether Drew Ali is aligning us with the Moroccan government or the United States of America governing body, right? Because again, he said earlier, right, that, he suffered severely due to a misunderstanding of what this movement was about. And I just so happen to see that we have this misunderstanding still going on. And so again, I'm just using Noble Drew Ali's words. These are his words, not mine, right? To expose, or better yet, to reveal, right? Specifically, where our allegiance is to be had, okay? Whether it's under the Moroccan government of America, or whether it's under the Moorish Empire, which spans the globe, and specifically the Moorish Empire here in America, right? We're just trying to link ourselves back, right? All right. The citizens. So he starts off with calling us citizens. Why is that important? Why is that important? Morocco, as far as Africa, does not deal in citizenship. The concept of citizenship in Morocco is not like the concept of citizenship in America. Those who are quote unquote citizens of Morocco are also known as, they're subjects of the Sultan. So this is how our ancestral governing body would work, in as much as the Moorish Americans here, right, are quote unquote subjects under Drew Ali, right? But again, we're dealing with citizenship, right? And subjugation is not over here the way that subjugation is in Morocco. So Drew Ali, the very first thing he blurts out, he calls people citizens, not subjects. Okay, let me continue. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government, which is the more perfect union, according to us, are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. So Drew Ali just told the Moorish Americans not to be black, Negro, colored, but to actually be white in America. He said nothing about Morocco. He's talking about free national governments. Free means sovereign, national state, sovereign state governing, right? He's telling us that within all of these 50 states, we must declare our national descent along with the citizenship to be recognized in the states and overall within the more perfect union. Excuse me. And he tells them that it is a sin. It is debt. It is a debt to cling to names and principles. Now, mind you, subjugation is a principle of slavery. You got your Moors out there talking about we Moroccan subjects. Okay. Anywho, let's continue. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind, to their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive, where are we at here? And receive their divine rights as citizens, not subjects, but citizens. And in a sense, yes, citizens do have some type of allegiance to their states, but it is not under subjugation. There is no one man, there is no one sultan ruling over and dictating to the people here. The people come together as one. Anywho, let me continue. He says, according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. So Drew Ali is giving us a universal message here. He's telling the Moorish Americans that we're part of the Union, and he's aligning us back with the people in the Union, because he's saying that any group of people that are in sin, and violating the free national constitution that was written for all free national beings would be mistreated. Okay? Drawley states, they are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them. How many issues does Drew Ali tell us there are for us to get status correction? Huh? Because he talk about status correction. He's talking about trust and estate redemption. Let us read. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government, USA, and of the earth. And it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine National Movement. Mind you, he didn't say the Moorish Science Temple of America. He said the movement, which are principle based. He says, which is incorporated in this government, and this is through the Moorish Science Temple of America, and recognized by all other nations of the world. So that's the United Nations. All of the states and the United Nations recognizes this movement in America under the American flag. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right? All right. He says, and through it, meaning these principles, right? Meaning once we come back to the Union, he says, and through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens. Other citizens? Yes, because Drew Ali is teaching his people how to be better citizens. So again, there's a collective, there's a unification that he's speaking on, right? He's telling us that we will receive the same rights as other citizens if we abide by basically the national character of this union. Okay. Where we at here? All right. He says, which is incorporated. He says, and through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens. Listen. that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege as has been the existing condition for many years. So let's peel that back, right? He says that we can cast a free national ballot at the state's poll, right? And he says not under a granted privilege. What is the granted privilege that he's speaking about? Just real quick. He's talking about this. This is the granted voting privilege given to those 14th Amendment Black, Negro, colored, debtor, stateless statuses, citizens, right? That he's saying that was going on. He's saying do not vote through the federal election, but rather to cast your ballot at the state's poll. So he's telling you don't vote for Trump, vote for your governor. If you understand. All right. Okay. He continues, you who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles, not my temple, but my principles, are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government and ask them under an intelligent tone. And they will be glad to render you a favorable reply, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Now, mind you, he didn't say that to the Moorish Americans. That particular line was to all other American citizens. Hey, if you don't believe that the principles that I'm bringing to my people, right, aren't right and exact, go holler at your people in your governing bodies. They're going to tell you, oh, wow, yes, absolutely. That is absolutely right and exact. So again, Drew Ali is teaching us that we have tolerance and unity, in all honesty, equity, right, here in these lands. Okay. He says money does not make the man. Why does he say that? We're going into economics here, right? The gold standard and whatnot. That doesn't make the man, right? The gold and the silver, that's not, it's the energy of the people, in all honesty. But let me continue. He says money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that makes a man and a nation. So if the man is the statesman and the nation is the state, then the state and the man are one. The people, we the people, and then the state, they make the state, they give up the same, it's the same standard. He says that he says that free national standards and power make a man and a nation. So whatever makes the man makes the state. Whatever makes the state makes the man, is what's being expressed here. All right. And then he continues. The wealth of all national governments, mind you, Pennsylvania is a national government. Tennessee is a national government. California is a national government. The only one that's not a national government is Washington, D.C., which is a part of the federal district. It's not a state, it's a district. Anywho, he says the wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens. So citizenship must have some type of authority as opposed to being a subject, right? But anyway, belongs to the citizens alone and without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. Now, mind you, in the beginning, he made reference to national citizens in one of his other messages. And here we have it again where he's talking about national citizenship. He's telling you to bring them together, right? And he says that without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. So whether it be gold, silver, or fiat currency, debits and credits, if you are not one of we the people, it does not belong to you. Right? All right. Continuing. He says, and I am hereby calling on all true citizens. Why does he say that? Because he's not talking to the Moorish American. All right. Or he's not talking just to the Moorish Americans. Okay. Drew Ali is speaking to all of the Americans in the land and telling everyone that there is a universal standard that we all must abide by if you follow. All right? Listen to him. He says, and I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and who stand for the enforcement of the Constitution. He says, I'm hereby calling on them to help me in my great missionary work because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. So Noble Drew Ali is not disconnecting his people from any other people. You see a lot, particularly you see these Sultanate Moors, trying to divide the people and say, hey, we doing our own thing and, we're not Americans. Or you'll even hear some of these nut-ass Moorish Americans say something to the effect of, well, this is our land and everyone else has got to get off. This is not what Noble Drew Ali was teaching at all. And if you study his literature, you will see that there are people who have taken his name and his movement, right? And they got a little wiggle room, right, due to the ignorance of the people, and they're misappropriating. They are misinforming. Drew Ali kept it plain. I assure you, dude. I'm going to read an article after this that puts it all into perspective as far as Drew Ali aligning us. And he's going to tell us what the difference is between the Moorish Americans, right, and every other American citizen. I'm going to get to that after this, right? Let me continue with this. He says, help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. So who is he talking to? He's talking to all of these other free national citizens, true American citizens. And what does he ask them to help me save my people who have fallen? So he's asking these other American citizens to help pull his people up so that they're upright in their character and conduct. He's not telling us that we're supposed to be different, that we're supposed to be radical or agitating or at the necks of other American citizens. You got a lot of Moors out there who like to say, oh, well, to plead means to beg, and I don't beg. Drew Ali is begging these people. He's begging, please fucking help me, because my people are out of whack. He's begging. They'll be like, well, animals beg. And again, this is just the misconceptions of those who don't really study, right? But let me continue. Listen to what he says to these other true American citizens, not to the Moorish Americans. He says, I am depending on your support to get them, the Moorish Americans, back to the constitutional fold again. Back to the constitutional fold again. So this applies to us, the more perfect union. He says to get us back into the constitutional fold again, meaning that we have separated ourselves from, but we are part of it, and we must come back to it. So again, all of this under the Sultanate stuff, it's confusion. And that's not to down talk any of the true Moroccan born nationals who may come over here and exercise foreign diplomacy within the lands. But just to keep it 100 with you, not 99 and not 101. Moorish Americans are not Moroccan subjects. We're here. The Moorish Empire that we are affiliated with is here in America. The Moorish Empire is all across the planet. And it just so happens to be here in America. So we don't have to go back to Morocco to acknowledge or to recognize or to be recognized as Moroccans. We're not Moroccan born. We are descended from. We are the children of. We are the posterity of Moroccans who settled the Americas. All right. This is my land. This is my home. Just telling you. All right. He says, and I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, because these Moors out here ain't got no love in their heart. Love is consideration. You know what love and consideration is in dealing with contracting, right? That's like me putting my feet in your shoes and trying to discern things from your perspective, just so that I can get an understanding of where you're coming from. I'm not just immediately ruling you out. That's what love is. Now, you know what hate is? Hate is the exact opposite, which we see a lot of these Moors out here doing, where they want to call everybody something negative. They'll call Europeans. They'll say that the Europeans are not Muslim. They'll call them Albions. You know, they just have all of this. They're doing to others what was done to them, knowing that the prophet said that, you know, we off that shit now. We ain't on that shit now. Everybody's supposed to be here. I'm just letting y'all know that. All right. Anywho, he says, and will live. Let me go back. I am depending on your support, meaning all other true American citizens, to get them back, meaning the Moorish American citizens, to the constitutional fold again, that they, the Moorish Americans, will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. So Noble Drew Ali said, this is our constitution. He ain't put none, we're not here. We're not here. We're here. The more perfect union, the USA. He said this is ours. And when he said our free national constitution of the USA, he made that a collective, because he was talking about the other American citizens too. Now, if I'm an American citizen and this guy's an American citizen and this guy's an American citizen and none of them are from Morocco, you know, then I can't be. Then that means that us sharing the same status would not be the same status as someone coming from a foreign land. Y'all need to understand that, right? All right, continuing. He says, I love my people, and I desire their unity and mine back to their own free national and divine standard. So Drew Ali is saying that the free national and divine standard that is within the more perfect union belongs to us as well as others, that we're supposed to get back to it. In Islam, all are free and equal, if you really know Islam. Not that all self-law and master codex stuff, but the heart of Islam. All are accepted. All are pure and clean. All are free from debt in the beginning. And this is what he's talking about. I want us to return back to those standards because they're applicable in the more perfect union. Okay. He says, because day by day, they have been violating. By they, he means the Moorish Americans. They have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government. So again, he's saying the USA is our government. And this next point is to show that he's talking to the Moors, right? He says, where are we at? He says, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by what? By claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. So Noble Drew Ali is again telling us that the more perfect union of the United States, that's our government, not Morocco, not the Moroccan government, the American government. We're Americans. We're not Moroccans. We're descendants of Moroccans. Oh, well, it's the same thing. It is and it ain't. We're Moroccan by blood, not by soil. Is the point. We are American by soil. You soli. You soli and you sanguine. We bring that together here. Anywho, let me continue. Now check this out. Drew Ali's about to make a comparison, right? And the comparison is going to pertain to specifically European nations and we'll say Middle Eastern. So he's about to make a statement dealing with the Eurasian descendants, right? Here in America. And then he's going to show us. Let me just go ahead. Listen, he says, if Italians, Greeks, English, right? Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabs are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America. It is no more than right that that law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. Right? All others. So what are Moorish Americans? We're North Africans. Okay? So what is so special about that, right? Why am I pointing this out? In the SF 181 ethnicity and race ID form, right? And we also provide this in one of our books, right? But according to this, right? Yeah, let's just keep it a bean. Because Europe, Islamic Asia, right, and North Africa all have the white status. And so again, when we look at this now, we see that Drew Ali is implying that we're all equal and we have the same status. He says, if Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and constitution before the constitutional government, free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. So again, he's showing that there's a level, there's a balance in citizenship. All right. And then he says, all right. And then he says, in all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asked for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. So if you don't have a national descent name to follow you in your land, you cannot be recognized as one of the people of the land, and you'll be abused. And then Drew Ali lets us know that this applies universally. He says any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles may be misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Okay? And then he tells us why. He says, because to be a citizen of any government, so he's telling us to be government citizens, yo. Because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. Because they, meaning the ancestors, placed their trust, ding, 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 upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. So I'm Moorish American. I'm Pennsylvanian American. Because Pennsylvania is the name of the trust. For me. Anywho. He says the word Negro alludes in the Latin language to the word Niggr. The same as the word color alludes to anything that is painted, varnished, and dyed, D-Y-E-D, meaning its appearance has been changed. This is what he's saying. He says, and every nation or state must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. So as long as I'm known as a Pennsylvanian American, right, I will be recognized everywhere. I will have longevity in the land. I will be able to have my trust in the states descended to my children, who are also going to come up being recognized as Pennsylvanians, etc., or wherever they may be born within the states. These names, meaning Black, Negro, Colored, African American, West Indian, you name it, right? These names have never been recognized by any true American citizens of this day. And mind you, this is the 1920s he's talking. He says, through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. Then he goes in to tell us about, he says, the 14th and 15th Amendments All right. So now let's get to this, right? Thank you all for those who are still here, listening and getting it in, right? All right, so he's going to tell us about this here, right? Mind you, in the beginning, he made mention of us going to the state's polls, right? And voting and not doing so under the granted privilege as has been, the way of the times. All right, so he made mention of 14th Amendment ideology, but now he's being clear. All right. He says the 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unity, placing the Southerners, who were at that time without power, with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, why is 1865 important? Because the so-called Negroes were freed 2 years prior to 1863. But in 1865, we all hear in American history that this was the 13th Amendment that preceded the 14th and 15th. He says, and at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people who are learning to be, as well as and citizens. So again, Drew Ali is telling you to go back into your state, to be a state national citizen or a nation state citizen. This is what he's telling you. And he's saying that the 14th and 15th Amendments don't apply to us. Why? Because we're not foreigners. We're not foreigners. The 14th and 15th Amendments would apply to foreigners. That's what it's for. We're not foreigners here. Alhamdulillah. All right. He says, so there isn't but how many? One. There is not but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem. This is estate redemption. To redeem that which was lost. National citizenship, the trust in the state, legal status, representation. This is what we lost. This is what he's bringing us back to. All right? He says, so there is but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the aforementioned statements. Everything I said prior to this statement here. He says, then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. Check him out, right? He says, in those days, the United States, because you got a lot of Moors out here trying to argue the United States is different from the United States of America. No, the fuck it ain't. No, it's not. It is a balance of credit republic and debit democracy. It's a balance. And you just have to know what side you're on. Right? He called it the U.S. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to point that out in a minute because he calls it the United States, North America, and the United States of America, all in this one particular newspaper article. All right? But let me continue. He says, in those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by the citizens and my people that are in this government, then the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people. And this great sin or debt or transgression must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. So we know that we're already having enormous earthquakes and all kinds of diseases and a whole bunch of etc. Which means that we have not, I'm gonna fuck with none of these Moorish leaders try to tell you or get you to believe that they're on the right path, or that the way they're doing it at the time is the right way. If it were the right way, we would not be suffering the enormous earthquakes, the perpetual disease, right, and everything else that's going on out here. Common sense. Anywho, he says, and I, the prophet, do herein believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared for more genius citizens, by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution, laws, and through the, excuse me. And I, the prophet, do herein believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs. We're not Arab Muslims, y'all. Stop that. And we're not Europeans. We're not Christian. Allow everyone to be themselves. Stop following other people and be yourself. He says, I truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always harmed them by not being yourselves. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it's not the true and divine way, and without understanding, they have fallen from the true light in the utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc., in their present condition of their endeavorment, in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They, meaning the Moorish Americans who are out here being black, Negro, colored, or everything but themselves, and being hateful towards everyone instead of loving and being one with the people. He says, in their sinful way, they try to force upon a civilized world. He says, their sinful ways of action and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. Let's recap that. Drew Ali said that it is the actions of his people, of these so-called people calling themselves African Americans, right? Their actions and or inactions, right, brought Jim Crowism and segregation. So it's not that someone else did this to them. They allowed for it to happen. In the words of Kanye West, slavery really didn't fucking happen. We put ourselves in that situation. And Drew Ali is telling us we put ourselves in it. We're the African Americans were not subjugated by others with, it's an internal thing. We fell from within because we desired to not be ourselves. That's a mouthful. All right. Anywho, Drew Ali says, and they, meaning the Moorish Americans acting as blacks, Negroes, coloreds, etc., whatever the case may be, they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses. We know this. They call them slave rebellions, right? He says, but I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there. And it is the works of my people meaning the Moorish Americans who are acting not as Moorish Americans, right? Meaning the Moorish Americans who think they're from Africa as opposed to America, right? He says, and excuse me, he says, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives to any nation that lives the life. So there's only one life to live. We got a lot of Moorish Americans that I find, are always trying to blame somebody for something. And I hear them say things like, they stole our culture and we got to get it back. And, these are just unrefined statements, of ignorance, because there's only one life to live. It is the life. And Drew Ali is letting us know that it is the life. That every American must live. It is a standard. It is the American standard that Drew Ali is presenting. And then again, you just got these ignorant brothers and sisters who are attempting to discredit others for living the life that they themselves as Moorish Americans refuse to fucking pay attention to and recognize that it is for everybody. All right, give me a second, y'all, since I'm already down here trying to grab anything that might have fell back here. And I'll get right back to you and clear that up. Just give me a quick moment, please. You know what? I don't really need what I'm looking for at this time, so let me get up. Ugh. All right. Okay, let me close this out and then I'm going to get to that last reading that I said. It says, if the government does not issue it, the government does not honor it as its own. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's nailing the head right there. All right, let me finish what Jarrell said here. He says, and I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light. So Noble Drew Ali is out here asking for the help of the same people that his people today are out here trying to, just disrespect. Nigga Moors is crazy to me. So we're going to get to the heart of, the life. Right? I'm going to expose to you all what Noble Drew Ali, not me, right? Because you got a lot of goofies out there to try to say, oh, it's you. Right? I'm going to tell you what Noble Drew Ali says about the difference between Moorish Americans, right, and other Americans, right? So that we know for sure, according to his program, right, not COINTELPRO, because you got a lot of goofies that like to use